The ocean. Every time you're in the ocean, you probably wonder, how deep does it go? Well, today we're gonna be finding out how deep the ocean actually goes and what creatures lie beneath the depths of the surface.
Well, today, you're gonna have this opportunity. Now, how good are you at holding your breath? Not that good?
I can hold it for like 2 minutes,
not
maybe?
to worry.
Yeah,
Hop
maybe like
aboard
10
my
seconds for me.
submersible craft and join me in the voyage to the depths. Ready?
Here we go.
Ooh,
Everyone,
let's dive.
breathe in.
Right now, just below the surface, you see that life is thriving here. Fish and marine animals abound, and hey
Yeah.
there, swimmers are waving at us. But we won't be staying here for long.
Whoa.
Bye.
Are you guys
At
holding your breath?
65 feet,
Yeah.
there's a whole new
All right.
world opening before your eyes. Shallow coral reefs are standing beautifully not far from the shore. And
Whoa.
hey, there are people here again. It's scuba divers this time, though.
Oh,
Water pressure isn't kind to
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
divers
Looks
without
like he's going
special
into heaven
equipment.
with all that light.
130
I'm gonna go
feet is
soon.
the depths where we say goodbye, even to recreational
Oh my
scuba
gosh, we're already
divers.
200 feet deep.
It's the maximum allowed for them.
Guys,
Take
I
care,
can't hold my
guys.
breath anymore. Let's go back up.
200 feet.
Neither can I.
Turn it
Here's
around.
the first
Okay, let's go up,
orca.
let's go up.
These
Turn it
whales
around.
are
There's
the
no orcas, there's
relatively
200 feet.
shallow waters of almost every sea and ocean in the world. Did you know that they're the apex predators, by the way?
Jack's
It means
died.
they have
Jack
no
died.
natural
We made it
enemies,
220 feet.
and no one can take them down. At 230 feet, we meet whale sharks, the largest known fish
Whale
species,
sharks.
weighing up to 60 tons.
Dang, they're
And they're
actually
also
really
quite
deep.
long livers.
60 tons?
Well, yeah, I guess their livers are long at that.
They can live 130
But
Look at
actually,
that belly,
it's
look at the
not
belly, look at the belly on it.
They can
It
live
looks like
about
you, Adam,
130
thing's
as a
big.
shark.
Yeah.
Now, look outside. If you're a scuba diver, it's a real pro. Because at 330 feet, they'll have to be
Wait, there's
very
more scuba
cautious
divers?
not to get decompression sickness.
Wow.
It occurs if you rise
That's
too
deep.
quickly
That's
to
crazy.
the surface. And if you're lucky, you
400
can also
feet.
see a
Look at
giant
that
Pacific
octopus.
octopus. It dwells in cool
Whoa.
water starting this deep and
That thing's
going down
huge.
as far as 6,600 feet.
That's a
If I
kraken.
saw that
Now,
thing, I'm
we're
never
entering
going in the
dark
ocean again.
part of the ocean. At 490 feet, just 1% of the light from the surface reaches us.
Oh,
All the
jeez.
rest is absorbed by water.
Did anybody else get goosebumps
Everything
there?
that's deeper
No.
will get
Scary.
darker and darker
Something's
still.
tingling somewhere.
Oh, look.
This is
At about
spooky, though.
660
An
feet,
eel?
there's a giant oarfish
No.
circling
What is
our
that?
submersible.
What?
These creatures are believed to be the
Ew.
source of all sea serpent sightings and also a lot of
It's so
alliteration.
creepy.
Oh, it's a sea
Sometimes
serpent.
they swim up to the surface and
What
freak
the-
out sailors and swimmers. No wonder. These fish can reach
36
36 feet in length.
Wow.
Enough
Actually?
to scare the heck out of me,
Wow.
for example. Okay, now we're at 980
that's a
feet.
serpent.
And
Wait, imagine being that fish, though. Like, you're just 36 feet long with, like, no fins or, like, limbs or anything. You're just, like, one long, like, you're just one long worm in the bottom of the ocean.
You're an ocean snake.
It's, you do this, and you open and close your mouth to, like, eat food. That's it. That's all you're
That's
doing.
all Adam does anyway.
That's all that, like,
guys
their
see how
entire
natural that
life.
comes to me?
Yeah, you're actually crushing it. Wow. Their entire life is squirm and eat.
Well,
And
that's
you
it.
forgot to
What's
mention,
that
it's in
huge and
complete
dangling
darkness.
thing
Oh,
out
yeah,
there?
that's true.
It can't even
Oh,
see.
I get it. It's a Japanese
What the-
spider
Nope.
crab.
Nope,
Why a
nope,
spider,
nope.
you
Cow.
ask?
Those things look
Well,
huge.
Just look at those legs, and the answer will
Nah,
come to you.
that looks
without
like Alex'
further
hairy
prompts. By the way, there's almost
Not
nothing
everything
more
that's
to
red
them
is
than
me.
legs. The body of such a crab is normally just 1.5 feet across. Going deeper now.
So much meat
and
on that
at
bad boy.
1,640
Oh my gosh,
feet,
we're deep.
you're going to see the last of the blue whales. No, not really the
Whoa.
last
Oh
of them.
my God,
I
it's
mean, that's
huge.
the deepest they can swim.
Woohoo!
They don't really need to
Because
get
of
down
mass.
that deep for food, which they have in abundance in shallower waters, but they still can. I guess it's just for the sake of showing how awesome they are.
1,600 feet.
After all, they're the largest creatures in the history of Earth,
Wow.
both in the sea and on land.
Oh my gosh,
You hear
dude.
this?
Wait, what about
How
like a
deep are
These
megalodon?
are the sounds
No,
fin
nothing else
whales
has ever
make
been
to
bigger than
talk
a
to
blue
their
whale.
friends
Really?
many miles
Yeah.
away.
Wow.
They can do this thanks to the SOFAR channel, or deep sea channel, that generally starts at 1,970 feet, but can vary in depth. It's a layer of water where the speed of sound is at its minimum, and sound waves can go thousands of miles before
Thousands?
disappearing.
Whoa.
At the depth of 2,723
They have their own radio channel down there.
feet,
Yeah.
we have reached
By
the
they,
point
that you
where
mean
the
us?
Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world,
Shout out
would not
humans.
even show its tip on the surface if it were put underwater. Hey,
Thanks.
let's
Not even
Wow.
a tip.
now we're entering the really interesting part of the ocean, where no sunlight reaches us and strange creatures dwell.
I'm scared.
One of those
How
is
deep
the
does it
giant
get?
squid.
Oh,
yes,
God.
that legendary type. It inhabits the depths
the
of
Kraken.
2,950 feet.
That is a kraken.
Just imagine
I
a
don't like
creature
that.
with eyes the size of frisbees. Sperm whales
my
are
gosh.
frisbees. but they certainly can fight back. What a sight it would be to see such an encounter.
Seriously.
No.
And that's
No, if you're seeing that, you're dying after.
This is gonna be weird to say, and you guys are probably gonna look at me and be like, dude, you're a weirdo. But to me, like, it's crazy that all of that is happening right now. Like, there are krakens and there are sharks and there are blue whales right now. Like, they're out there, and like, life is happening outside of my little bubble. You know
We're
what I'm
gonna
saying?
keep it that way, okay? We're gonna keep it that way.
You
We're
guys
gonna
know
keep
what
we're
I'm
gonna
saying?
stay far,
No, we're
far
not.
away.
If this video gets 10,000 likes, we will hop in that submersion tank and go 10,000 feet down in the ocean, baby.
You got
Is that
that's
even
all
possible?
you. That's gonna
If
be
it
a
gets
solo
100,000
video.
likes,
3,000
Alec-
feet right now.
Alec will fight a kraken.
Yeah, that's 100,000 likes.
Am I the Kraken?
I'm gonna dress up as a kraken.
darkness finally falls on us, the midnight zone. The pressure here is so
would be a sick
huge
video for real.
that if you somehow end up being here without a submersible, well, you'll simply be crushed in a couple of seconds. And that without seeing a thing too. Not the best of prospects. Anyway, at 3,600 feet, there's West Mata, one of the deepest ocean volcanoes in the world. Its last eruption
There's
was in
volcanoes?
2009.
I kinda
the
forgot
ocean?
about
It was
ocean
even filmed
volcanoes.
by a remotely
I didn't know
operated
that's a thing.
vehicle. 4,200 feet down below, and we see the ferocious great white sharks.
There's sharks that deep.
Predators feel great at such a depth.
What the heck?
Their eyesight is rather poor, and they navigate by scent.
Oh,
So
wow.
they really don't need sunlight to hunt down
That
their
is kind of
prey.
funny, just imagining
I
a
don't
great
see
white
you,
shark
but I'll
like
still eat
swimming
you.
around and then it runs directly into
Also,
a
the
rock because
leatherback
it can't
turtles,
see.
the largest turtles in the world, dive at the same depth. I wonder if they do it to tease the great whites.
What?
Oh, see those
I did
huge
not know
nets?
that.
That's because we're now at the depth of 4,900 feet, where the catch-all fishing method is used. The nets are here to be dragged along the ocean floor, catching
actually?
everything unfortunate enough to be caught.
That's a
I'll
thing?
let you decide how detrimental
that's
this
real?
is to the ocean
They
life
go
here.
5,000
Wow.
feet down.
6,000 feet.
Wait, what are they even trying to catch? All they said that there was great whites and turtles.
Great
No, they're
white
literally probably
turtle.
catching great white turtle, the kraken, maybe a blue whale in there,
Big whale, yeah.
probably dolphins, maybe
Some
orcas.
alligator crabs.
No, they don't get that deep though. They just said like the only thing down there is the great
Well, they
whites.
pull
and
the
then-
nets
Yeah,
up
yeah,
and
but
they
they're
get
pulling
all
it
that.
all the way up to the surface, so they're catching
Yeah.
everything in between
Whatever
5,000
falls
feet
in
and
the
0
net,
feet.
they just get.
That's probably how they're catching all that bluefin
It's like a
tuna that you
mystery
used to
cow.
watch.
It's like a mystery box.
Adam, you're a mystery box.
It's a
Would be
mystery
sitting
net.
at its lowest and deepest point. Imagine that all the crevasses have been thoroughly filled
Crevasses.
with water, and you'll get the perfect picture. Now, if we're really careful, then at the depth of 6,600 feet, we'll be able to see the black dragonfish.
What?
A nightmarish
What is
creature
that?
dwells in the deep and dark
looks
parts
pretty
of the
big.
ocean. And trust me, it's
There
better
it is
off staying
again.
right here. It looks
That
like
thing
something
is
from a horror
big and
movie.
black.
And
Look at
I'd
its
rather
teeth.
it never cross my path.
Oh, yeah.
At 7,400 feet,
Nah.
we'll be saying goodbye
What is
to
that?
sperm
What is
whales.
that? What is that?
This is the deepest
What is
point they
that?
can
What is
dive,
that?
And frankly, they have no real business at such a depth. Maybe they hunt the black dragonfish, of course.
That's
or
Moby Dick,
it hunts
right?
Them. Nah,
I don't know, but
the
that
difference in
forehead is
size too
comparable
big.
to,
Sperm whales can
I hate
reach
to say it, but
62
my
feet
own.
in length, which makes them the largest toothed whales in the world. Not many creatures can counter that. It's good that our submersible has a
gotta point
powerful
out-
floodlight. Without
I
it,
was waiting
we
for
wouldn't have
something.
been able to see the astonishing beauty of the deep-sea coral reefs located at the depth of 9,900 feet. They
I
can
didn't
be
know that
found
there
in
were coral
every
reefs that
ocean,
deep.
and it's a pity they can't be
that
seen
glowstone?
without special deep-sea diving equipment.
I don't know, but it's cool.
Okay, going deeper still, and at
12,000 feet,
12,100
dude,
feet,
imagine.
we reach the
How deep did we
average
go?
depth of the world
12,000
ocean.
feet of water.
From now on, the journey into the real depths begins. The general
Mariana
ocean
Trench,
floor
right?
Ears
has
must
been
be
passed.
popping, whoever's
so
inside of
now
that.
it's time to delve into the abyss. Now at 15,000
Oh, now they're
feet,
getting to the abyss, guys.
monsters
Oh,
out
I've
of
seen
your
that before
worst
from Nemo.
nightmares
It's
pop
it's
up.
like a football fish.
the Nemo
Anglerfish,
fish.
for example,
Anglerfish.
will scare the heck out of anyone. Its long and crooked teeth, along with
Oh,
a
I saw
growth
this.
on
I saw
its
this before.
head that lures
Uh,
the
Finding
Nemo,
Nemo.
right?
Nemo.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
said
was
that.
Nemo.
even
I
in
said
the
that.
deepest.
I saw it in Nemo.
Yeah,
Even
a
more
great
terrible
original thought,
is the
Jack.
creature called the black
That was great.
swallower.
Great reference.
It's an eel-like beast that has a very stretchy stomach, and it can swallow prey that's twice its size.
So it's like a
Look
deep
down
sea
below,
snake.
and you're going to see the deepest shipwreck ever
Oh, the
found.
music's getting intense.
SS Rio Grande,
The Titanic?
South Atlantic, sunk in
Yeah.
1941 and went as low as 18,900
Whoa.
feet. No wonder it was
Jeez.
only found 55 years later. And now the deepest and darkest part of the ocean begins.
This is
We're
incredible.
diving into the Mariana Trench. Officially, it begins at about 19,700 feet deep. It's both the least explored
feet.
and the most fascinating area for the scientists and adventurers alike.
Like, really try to imagine, though, how big that is.
Well, we're about to see. But while we're not there yet, I'll show you something else. For example, here's the deepest fish ever found. It's called a snailfish, and it dwells at 26,000 feet.
That's such a lame
Its
fish
body
to
is
be the deepest
translucent,
fish ever.
So you
What
can
you doing
actually
down there,
see
fishy?
right through its skin. Well, I must say I'm glad we didn't
Whoa.
turn
It's a
off the
space
lights
fish.
after all. This little
That's
guy is
awesome.
surprisingly cute
kinda
for
looks
a creature
cute.
that can.
What if aliens actually aren't in the air? They're actually underground in the ocean. They're hiding.
Why? How is the ocean underground?
I actually heard a theory that octopuses are aliens.
I think it's octopi.
Whatever it is, I don't care. But they were on an asteroid.
I also heard it was octopi,
And like,
Jack.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying.
No, just when you're talking about octopus, just refer to it as octopi. That's the
Yeah,
plural.
you kind of threw me off with your stupidity.
Okay, octopi. Is it not octopi and you're messing with me? You don't even know. You're looking it up. I see you looking it up. All right, back to my story. There's a theory that octopuses or octopi are here on Earth from an asteroid. Like they were on eggs on an asteroid. Boom, crash landing. Boom, we're in the ocean and are actually aliens. I'm not saying it's true.
told you
I'm
that?
just, I'm
Who
just
told you
saying
that? Was it the aliens guy from the History Channel?
I'm just saying. I saw it like on TikTok or somewhere. That's all.
The
I'm not
most
saying it's true. I'm
commonly
not
saying-
accepted
I'm not even saying I
plural
believe it. I'm just saying
usage
that's
for
what I heard.
octopus is octopuses.
See, it is octopuses.
Yes, that's what
You guys
Jack
both
said.
You owe me an apology.
Jack, isn't
Yeah,
that
but
what we
no,
said?
in Latin, a lot of people say octopi is right. So there's a big debate. We
Yeah,
can talk
that's
about that. in the
Crazy
next
Huge
because we're
debate.
speaking English. That's so, you know.
Well, English is derived from Latin. So.
derived from Latin, Alec.
Vertebrate animal whatsoever. The pressure is just too much for such creatures. But there are shrimps and other invertebrates, not to mention microbes, that can dwell even in the deepest part of the ocean.
Shrimps?
And that part is
Invertebrates?
Shrimp
Challenger
species.
They look
deep.
like a bunch of glow
It's the
turds.
bottom of the Mariana Trench, and its depth is 35,853
Oh!
feet.
Crash landing.
Yes, we've arrived at the very bottom of the Earth. Few people have been here, and very little is known about it yet. But scientists aren't going to stop, and there's hope. We'll soon find out.
There's got to be something down there
They
that's
gotta
crazy.
go deeper. They
There's
gotta
gotta be something
That's
down
where the
there that's
aliens are,
insane.
man. Beneath there, we just haven't discovered it yet. There's so much of the ocean
We've
that has.
explored more of the space than we have of the ocean.
Yes.
How crazy is that?
That's not true.
It is, actually.
Let's dive down.
Whoa, was that Mahat? Did you guys see that too?
I think it might have been
Don't
something
get ahead
like
of
it.
yourself. Come on now.
Whoa.
Things could get crazy right now.
When we look at the sheer scale of the Earth's oceans, it's hard to believe that less than 2% of all biomass on Earth lives here.
Oh,
And
really?
of that small
didn't know
percentage,
that.
around 90% is located close to the surface in the first 200 meters. This is where we begin our journey. Here, light can still penetrate the water, which allows photosynthesis to occur. Phytoplankton, trillions and trillions of single-celled algae and bacteria make up the foundation of the ocean's ecosystem, and they're consumed by bigger plankton who are consumed by other species.
The circle of life.
This depth is akin to the Amazon rainforest and is often covered with coral reefs, algae, and other sea plants that are home to a plethora of sea animals.
Nemo.
So far,
Hi,
we've
Nemo.
focused most of our attention on this comparatively pleasant environment where we fish, swim, pollute, and do science.
Is that a Pokemon?
So,
That looks like a quillfish. Yeah, it's quillfish and Goldine. And I don't know if you noticed the Easter egg at the top too. That looks like a Mario shell. Or am I tripping right now?
I think it is. It kind of looks like a blue shell.
Oh, and there's a
where are you
Lilip down there at
looking?
the bottom too.
There's a piano.
Yeah, there's a Lilip right next to it.
And wait a second, bottom right. Bro, there's a plastic bottle.
Okay, he was talking about pollution on this layer. So what happens if you pollute something that's heavy, like a piano, for example? Will it go all the way down to the bottom, or will it get to the point where the pressure like crushes it, or it doesn't go all the way down?
Does pressure affect buoyancy?
I don't know. Like if you throw a piano in the deepest part of the ocean, it'll go all the way?
I think so. I don't think pressure affects buoyancy. It'll just like crush it.
Yes, pressure does affect buoyancy.
What I was trying to say was
That's what Google says.
that pressure does affect buoyancy, and so a piano would eventually float at some part. That's what I was trying to say. You didn't let me get there. You just didn't let me get there.
That's why a bunch of pollution floats and is on the first couple layers, because if pollution ocean sunk, we could just like put a bunch of weights on it and just sink it to the bottom of the ocean, not even worry about it.
But Adam, there's life at the bottom of the ocean still. Only 90% are in the top layers of the ocean, but that means that there's other creatures deep down in the depths of the ocean.
I kind of agree with Adam though. Like if there's only 5% of animals or 10% of, you know, fish down there,
yeah,
it's better to put it down there than where the 90% is.
Let's find out what this 5 to 10% of animals actually is, or like how cool they are. Then we'll decide if we're gonna pollute them or not.
They glow in the dark, Adam. That's pretty cool.
Let's dive deeper. Moving from familiar coastal waters into deeper, more remote waters, we eventually reach the edge of the continental shelf, where we're confronted with the continental slope, the long descent down to the deep sea. With every additional
Hey, yo,
meter
who
of
that?
Oh, it's a
light
mermaid.
fades drastically, which means there are basically no more plants, and the seemingly steep continental
Here
slope
we go.
begins to remind us of the surface of the moon. Looking out, we're faced by what seems to be endless open water. Let's leave the slope behind
Oh,
us
that's so
and enter what's
creepy.
known as the twilight zone, the portal to the deep sea. As we sink down further, the water pressure rises to deadly levels. The deepest
Do you guys have thalassophobia? Like the fear of the deep, dark depths of the ocean?
I have pooped in the ocean 5 times.
Adam?
I usually float, so I don't have to worry about that.
What I'm saying though, like let's say you were out in the middle of the ocean and you're swimming around and you look down and all you see is blue. Like there's no creatures, there's no plants, there's no nothing. It's just blue and darkness down there. Would you be scared by that?
No, I'm way more scared about the stuff that's on my surface, like the animals, sharks, all that. It's just a bottom. It's whatever.
I think that actually would scare me, to be honest with you. Growing up, I have swum out there before and I didn't really care because I think when you're young, you're naive, you're not really fearful of anything. But the older I get, the more scary those things tend to be. And I'm also scared of heights. I feel like that's kind of goes hand in hand with heights, just like looking down and seeing nothing.
It's like that scene in Nemo when he swims out to touch the butt and then he goes on the continental shelf and then you can look down in that scene and it's just pitch black darkness and it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, that is pretty scary actually. I think I would be terrified of that.
And you don't know what's down there. When you're looking down there, I remember one time we were swimming with whale sharks and that was pretty cool, but then there were no more whale sharks at one point and I just looked down and there was nothing. There was nothing down there and you don't know what's going to come up from there. So it's freaking me out, guys.
We're about to find out what's down there.
I don't want to.
this scuba dive ever came in at 332 meters. At that depth, the
that's
pressure is
crazy.
like having 200 cars stacked on top of you. Yet we've
Well,
only
surely
completed
you would die.
5% of our journey. While this region seems pretty grim, many fish and other animals actually spend at least half their
Crab.
lives down here.
Fish.
During the day, it's a good place to rest and recover, hidden from predators in the vast, dark waters. At night, they can travel more safely into shallower zones to feed in the food-rich surface waters.
That makes sense.
In this transition zone between twilight and darkness, light becomes a powerful tool. Over 90%
Jellyfish are
of
so
the
cool.
species indigenous to this deep environment use bioluminescence chemicals to create light. They do so as camouflage against the very faint sunlight to send signals to potential mates or to confuse and scare attackers.
Now, I know that this is a real thing. Do you guys know how they actually, like, how do they light up? Do they absorb the energy from the sun?
No, I think that it's some sort of like organ in their body that produces a chemical that allows them to activate their bioluminescence. And I'm pretty sure you need to like have physical touch in order to activate it. Like they need to move around in order to activate it. If they stay still, it's not activated.
Adam, our bodies, for example, generate heat. Fish don't. They don't generate heat, but some of them can generate light. Like our bodies are crazy to them because they're probably looking at us and go, whoa, that's crazy that their body can naturally just be hot. But theirs, you know, theirs can naturally be illuminated. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Theirs is way cooler than ours. They are not looking at us and being amazed. They can glow in the dark. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's like an X-Men superpower.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Don't ever compare
Adam,
that.
be proud of your body, bro. Come on.
I am.
Be body positivity, Adam.
What changed? Something changed with Alec.
So anyway, Adam, long story short, it's a chemical reaction.
Thank you.
Or they use light to hunt. Another tool for survival in the dark is teamwork. At around
That's not a
700
fish. What is
meters,
that?
we encounter a colony of siphonophores. They can
That's a
be up
made-up
to
word.
50 meters
What?
in length, but are only as wide as a broomstick.
Whoa.
What?
No,
Prey,
that's not
the
alive.
colony creates a tragically beautiful bright blue or red light and deploys a curtain of tentacles filled with toxic needles
Oh!
that kill anything that comes
That
too
is an
close.
alien.
That is the biggest mosquito. What's it called? The mosquito light. You know, it has a huge
like
light,
the-
so
the
it tracks
the
all the
electric zapper.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I'm confused what it even is, though. Is it a fish? He said it's a colony.
It's a colony of like, it looks like microorganisms that work together. It kind of reminds me of the video we watched about like the different like Venus flytraps and the other plants that like lure their prey in and then they attack it with poison and then they slowly absorb the nutrients in the thing that they trapped's body. What is this thing called? Did anybody remember the name? I want to see what it looks like in real life.
Falafiosaurus.
No.
And deploys a curtain of tentacles filled with tragically beautiful bright blue or red light and deploys
No, it's back more. It's back more.
as wide as a broomstick
Back more.
to ionophores.
Yeah, that was
They
it.
can be
Synophores?
They can be up to 50 meters, 100 meters. We
Oh
encounter
my
a colony
goodness.
of siphonophores. They can be up to 50 meters.
Wait, I feel like you've probably seen one of these. Like they wash up on the beach sometimes.
Nah, stop. I don't want to even know that.
They look like little plastic bags. Here, Adam, I'll send over a picture. I've seen these things on the beaches in Mexico.
What the heck?
They're highly poisonous, so you're not supposed to touch them because of what this guy's saying.
That looks like a jellyfish.
What is? No, there's no way this is the same thing.
It is, yeah. There's a bunch of different types. Maybe he's talking more about this one.
Dude, that looks like a galaxy in outer space.
Yeah,
that is
it's
insane.
incredible.
Ugh.
And apparently, it's the longest animal in the world.
How long is it?
What?
He said
700 meters.
Whoa.
700. No, it's not. No, I don't believe it.
I need to see it to scale next to a human because this looks so small. This looks like it's like zoomed in on a microscope.
And it's one thing. It's not a colony. It's one organism.
Yeah. Well, it's no. Hold on. It says
Because then it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
no. Yeah. It's a colony.
Yeah, that doesn't count then as being one organism. It looks like one organism though. Like it looks like it's all connected very well.
Yeah, they're all working together.
It's not like a school of fish where you can individually see the different fish.
It gets longer than the blue whale.
Well, yeah, that's way longer than blue whale. 700 meters, bro? Are you serious?
No, I lied about that. No, it gets to max 130 feet.
That's way shorter.
That's way shorter.
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
There's
no,
some
no, no.
There's some jellyfish that are crazy long too.
Oh yeah, like the box jellyfish.
The lion's mane jellyfish is 120 feet long.
It's so close to number one.
That's crazy. Jellyfish might be my favorite animal. Things are so cool.
They're so weird looking. I'm just getting more scared of the ocean, guys. I really should not be watching this. My thalassophobia is it's activating.
The more we learn, the scarier it gets. That's why they say ignorance is bliss, guys.
I like ignorance.
A tragically beautiful bright blue or red light and deploys a curtain of tentacles filled with toxic needles that kill anything that comes too close.
We're not even close to the
But
bottom.
most species living down here have to rely on an unlikely resource, marine snow. White, flaky
What?
stuff that constantly
What?
sinks from the surface to the bottom of the ocean.
Cocaine?
Yeah, they
It
just
consists
feed off
of
of that.
dead plant or animal parts, fecal matter, shells, sand, or dust. Even though this doesn't sound very tasty, without this crucial resource, life in the deep sea
mean,
would starve.
Some insects eat poop,
It's
so.
in this area that the most fascinating battles
monkeys,
between two
and dogs.
unlikely enemies could happen. Sperm
Here we go.
whales hunt and attack giant squid
Yeah.
the size of a house. While the
In
squid
complete
fight
darkness.
back ferociously, they probably don't stand a chance, but they do leave permanent marks on their killer's skin. As we reach 1,000 meters, deeper than the tallest structure built by humans, we need to be careful. This is the Midnight Zone,
I'm
a
getting
place
goosebumps.
of utter darkness.
This is the place of utter darkness. And if you go back, look at the dot. That's where you get to complete darkness. And look how much further it goes down. Oh my gosh.
I'm starting to feel like claustrophobic.
I'm good. I sprint up the stairs when I turn the lights off. I don't need to be there. No one needs to ever be there.
I don't think I'm gonna drink water the rest of the day.
Meters, deeper than the tallest structure built by humans, we need to be careful. This is the Midnight Zone, a place of utter darkness. A barely explored wet wasteland consisting of nothing but endless black open water. At these
It's kinda like
depths,
outer
it's harder
space.
for a human to
Yeah,
take a swim
basically.
than to take a walk in space. Finding food down here is really hard, so life had to adapt and become extremely energy efficient. like the 30-centimeter long vampire squid that floats through the water without motion, with long and slender catching arms extended. They're covered in...
A lot of animals that deep, as I'm sure you guys know, are blind because they don't even need to see. They just rely on other senses in order to attack their food.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, having eyeballs wouldn't even make any sense at that depth.
Well, sometimes, if they do have eyeballs, sometimes they're just super, super giant because they need to have like a very particular type of vision.
Can't some animals see night vision?
They can see better in the dark, but they don't have night vision. Like, if it's complete darkness, they can't see.
Oh.
You can tell because their eyes are reflective towards lights. You know, like when you see deer on the road and you can only see their eyeballs? That's because they have that night vision that you're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, they could see way better than us, that's for sure.
in tiny stiff hairs which brush food from the water. This saves a lot of energy compared to actively catching food. For carnivorous fish, it's much harder to find
Passive
food
income.
since living prey
That
is
is
quite rare
scary.
down here. So the hunters have to get a perfect grip on their victim on first strike, otherwise it will escape into the dark.
That was
Many
embarrassing.
deep-sea
Have you guys ever seen like a good real life anglerfish?
I saw it from
A
an email.
good real life angler said, no,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Check out that.
This thing is about to be disgusting.
It is like one of the scariest looking creatures.
That's
That's insane.
disgusting. Well, it's in the deep dark, so it doesn't have to be pretty.
I'm pretty sure one of my teachers was one of these things.
Oh my gosh.
He must have had a fantastically big overbite.
That is so ugly.
Yeah, this is part of the reason why I don't go in the ocean that deep.
Imagine that thing bit you. Oh my gosh.
have several sets of long and deadly teeth. Like the viperfish, which uses its long fangs to trap even large prey and swallow it whole.
That is a fish
Or the
snake.
frilled shark with its impressive set of 300 teeth, which are curved backwards to hook their victims
is
in
that?
their mouths.
Never heard of that one.
Which are curved
Well, what was it?
whole. Or the frilled
Frilled shark?
I didn't know sharks lived that deep. I thought sharks were like on the surface.
Don't look that up, Jack. Do not look that up. Do not look that up. I don't want to know. Don't show an image. I'm not pulling up an image.
Oh my god, dude, this thing is crazy looking. The deeper you go into the ocean, the crazier the animals start to look. Because they're in pitch black dark and they are under immense amounts of pressure, so their bodies have to change.
He does look like, it looks like a shark that's been crushed. He has so many teeth.
Yeah, wait, here's a close-up version of the teeth.
What the? He's cheesing for that one. He knew he was on camera.
Oh, I can't look at this thing for too long. Okay, play the video.
which are curved
300.
backwards to hook their victims in their mouths. We sink further, below the 3,000.
They're at like the halfway point now.
As deep as the grave of the Titanic. We are now.
See, it does
at
sink to the
the
bottom,
abyssal
Adam.
depths.
Some
Here,
stuff.
Life happens
That's
in
still not even
slow
close to the
motion.
bottom.
Preserving every last bit of energy is crucial for survival. Everything down here hovers motionless or swims in a slow, elegant fashion. The only time the animals living in this zone move fast is when they have to escape danger.
It must
Like
be
the
freezing
Dumbo
down there.
octopod
Aw.
paddling with its ear-like fins, or
It
the
has
grenadier's
ears.
fish with its slow eel-like
It's
tail
so
beats.
cute.
At 4,000 meters, we finally reach ground again, the abyssal plain. It's covered in grey mud and rocks, dusted with the remains of marine snow, which is consumed by animals like sea cucumbers, shrimp, sea urchins, and sea worms.
Ugh.
In some
Gross.
regions of the seafloor, small, dark mineral deposits can be seen. These are manganese nodules. Deep-sea corals
Manganese.
and sponges use them to anchor themselves on the bottom of the sea. Though life is sparse on the deep seafloor, even down here there are oases. In the rift valleys, where tectonic plates are splitting apart, magma heats up seawater and creates dark jets of water and minerals as hot as 400 degrees Celsius that form elaborate chimneys and towers.
Whoa.
Extremophile bacteria use the minerals to create organic substances that are the basis for unique ecosystems. As we descend further, we reach the deepest
He's
point
going
of
down
the
even
abyssal
more.
plain at 6,000 meters. For most of the sea
It's crazy to me that like life is able to survive at such deep depths. And they don't even have sunlight. So they can't use photosynthesis. So they need to use chemical reactions based off of the heat. So they're basically like heat reactors to create life down there. How is that possible?
I don't know, but I do feel bad for fish, especially the ones that live all the way down there. What an awful life that probably is. You see nothing, you do this.
Yeah.
Maybe they're more in tap with their minds.
Maybe, but they have no idea of like what the real world is, and they never will know.
Neither do any of the fish.
Pretty similar to like the guys that live in their mom's basements until they're like 50. It's like the same idea.
But like, if you live in your friend's basement, that's not weird, right?
That's fine. Yeah, that's your own choice.
Thank God.
Well, guys, we're not even at the deepest point yet. I can't hit play. Somebody else does.
The seafloor, this is as deep as
I
it
hit
gets. But if we want to get to the deepest point of the oceans,
6
we're
million?
actually only halfway there.
What is that?
Let's enter the Hadal
Kraken.
Zone,
Giant squid.
the underworld of the sea. It consists of long, narrow trenches that only make up around 0.25% of the oceans and are among the most extreme environments on Earth.
Wow.
Only extremophiles exist
I don't
down
like
here,
ye.
like the ethereal snailfish that holds the record for the deepest living fish
Ew.
ever seen at around
at that.
8,000 meters. We
That
see
is gross.
spike
I think that fish was like jelly.
Jack,
Like,
send
it
me an
almost
image.
didn't really have like a bone structure or muscle tissue.
It
was
can't.
just like jelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I feel like all the fish at this point can't really have any muscle
So
or bone, or it'll just get crushed by the pressure.
this species of fish was discovered in 2018. So we are still actively discovering these.
Wait, there's a dead one right behind it.
Aw.
Wow.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It looks like it's glowing, or is that just the reflection of the flash?
Got to be the reflection because its body is basically see-through, like Alec was saying.
Yeah, that looks cool. It looks like an alien.
these spiky and
So that-
sharp black
that means
rocks
people were
rush
down
by
there.
as we sink down to more than 10,000.
People
Until
were
we
down
reach
here. That's
the
actually,
final
yeah, that's
slope.
crazy.
A trench inside the larger Mariana Trench with gently sloping sides that inframe a valley about
Who would ever
1.6
volunteer to go this
kilometers
deep?
wide. This is it. The deepest point, the Challenger Deep, 11,000 meters below the surface. The water pressure here is 1,086 bar. Taking a swim here is like having to balance 1,800 elephants on top of you.
Did they test that? You think they actually took 1,800 elephants on top, like when they were at the surface, to make sure that
No,
that the
Adam.
submarine could handle it?
What?
How do
What
they
a
know?
dumb thing to say.
Yeah, but like, how do they know that the submarine would handle it?
There's a thing that's called math, Adam. Math.
Math,
Where
science.
there's equations.
They did meth?
That's no math, Adam. That's the same the same way that they sent people to the moon. They did a lot of math, and then they just trusted their math.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
What a ridiculous
Would you
question.
guys be the first ones to do
No.
that?
Heck no. What?
Oh, but you guys don't trust the math.
I don't trust
What
myself.
are you saying right now? What are you saying?
You said to
I am
trust the math.
terrified. I'm watching a YouTube video right now, sitting here sweating.
not balance 1,800 elephants on top of each other. You idiot. Of course they didn't do that.
That could be done though.
How are
I
you going
think-
to question me about trusting math when you're the one who
That's
hypothesized that they actually balanced 1,800 elephants on top of each
That's
other?
probably
figure it
easier
out?
to do than to make this technology
No,
to go
it's
down to the bottom
not.
of the ocean. Are you serious?
Yes. What are you talking about?
Did you guys know that James Cameron actually went to the bottom of the Mariana Trench?
No,
we
way.
did not.
He did, to study for the one movie that we saw. He
No.
did.
That's crazy.
He went in the Challenger Deep.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, he did. He's huge into that. He loves going deep sea diving.
he's-
Adam,
So
Adam,
big.
Adam. If you were in a submarine, it wouldn't be able to get back up.
But
But even here, life has found a way to thrive. Next to sea cucumbers, white and light pink amphipods wiggle their way through the water. Their size is astounding. While their shallow water cousins are merely a few centimeters long, the deep sea version can reach up to 30 centimeters.
that's
And
big.
there are other things floating elegantly through the water. Plastic bags that were found by scientists in 2018.
Seriously?
Plot twist, it's actually a
Space on Earth
jellyfish.
is not safe from human influence.
Come on,
There's nothing
guys.
left to do now, and our oxygen is running out.
Don't say
so
guys
we
like you're not a
begin
part
our
of it.
ascent.
Come on, guys. Save the turtles. And the trenches. Oh, we're going back to the surface. Oh, these are all the creatures
After
we saw.
hours of traveling through dark nothingness, we finally see a glimpse of light. We arrive back at a calm surface. The oceans are
we're
so
safe.
deep. There is so much of them. We owe it to ourselves and to our descendants to preserve them as well as we
I
can.
love it, surface.
What's the deepest hole you can possibly dig?
Do you remember that absolutely divine
What's wrong
feeling
with
you
that
had as a
baby?
child when you were digging in wet sand at the beach?
God it's the trying to
Deeper
laugh.
and
It's
deeper.
Adam and Alec at
Have you
the
ever
beach.
wondered where you would have ended up if you kept digging without stopping? Great news. Even if you never managed to find out how far down your little tunnel could go, this video will tell you. Maybe someone has already used modern technology to reach the core of the planet, and we just haven't heard about it yet. But before
Wait, isn't the core of the planet,
bro?
Isn't it literally just lava at the the center of the Earth?
I don't know. But what I do know is that there's like a lot of energy down there that apparently we can use if we ever get there. We can use that.
I heard
Oh.
a theory that
Other
aliens live in the core center of the Earth.
things. Okay, no one cares. Let's continue.
I heard there's dinosaurs down there.
Yeah, I heard that too. But no one cares what Adam has to say. So,
Oh, no.
Is that Minecraft?
let's
Oh,
start
it's
again.
Minecraft.
Always
At
start
a
with
depth
Always
of
dig straight down.
2.3 feet, you'll find
That guy is
numerous
so
mole
tiny.
tunnels and rabbit warrens. By the way, a mole can dig a tunnel longer than 65 feet in just one day. If we
Whoa,
dig down a bit more,
way.
That's
we'll
better than
get to
me.
the standard depth of a grave.
All right,
if
6
we're
feet.
speaking about Western culture, of course, that's about 6 feet down. In fact, the actual depth of a grave can vary, but the expression 6 feet under didn't appear out of the blue. That was the burial depth in plague-infected England, and it was a stipulation of the Mayor of London in 1665.
Interesting.
Such a depth was believed to prevent the spreading of the infection.
How'd they come up with 6
Whoa.
feet?
I don't know, but it's interesting that the reason that it's 6 feet is to prevent infection spreading. That's crazy.
Okay, what if it was 5 feet?
Oh, everybody's
Let's see,
affected
it's
now.
not-
Yeah, 5
That's
feet.
not enough, Adam. Obviously,
thick
you haven't
enough.
done your scientifically research.
I gotta go back to school. Apparently, Got my
Adam, yeah,
feet
you
so
probably
long.
need you probably need glasses.
Deep burrowing
Doesn't have to do with
species of
anything.
earthworms can be spotted at a depth of 10 feet. One of them, Drawida grandis, can grow up to
Drawida?
3.5 feet long.
Draw
hold
with a
on, hold on.
Gwydia.
Wait, did you guys hear that 3.5 feet long worm? Did anybody just hear that?
I did not, but yeah, giant earthworms are crazy big. But I didn't hear that. That's crazy.
How
Oh!
girthy are they?
Oh god, hold on. I'm gonna send you a picture. I did not know these things actually existed.
Is it
Jack,
bigger
do you
than my
remember
head?
when we
Adam,
do you
you
remember
gotta-
when we ate worms?
I-
What if we ate these?
no,
my God!
Why did you send me a
we're
picture of
not-
Alex's mom?
No.
We're not eating that.
Jack, I'm Alec. He sent me a private picture of your mom.
She's got a big worm.
Why
it's-
did you do
Why are you
that?
telling me?
And
I
I-
thought it's a private picture.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you shouldn't tell me.
I found Alex's dad too.
Dude, these are real?
That
I'm
thing is
zooming
real.
in.
3.5
Oh my gosh.
feet long.
What?
That's literally that's taller than me.
Jack, how much money would it take you to eat that thing?
Do you think it tastes good?
Probably. Well, I mean, we had mini worms or like normal worms, I
that's
guess.
that's a whole lot of meat. I feel like it might actually taste kind of good if you saute it right.
We ate a
Yeah.
worm, but it was a gummy worm.
No one
and-
cares.
And
no
it was
one cares.
that size.
No one cares. No one cares. Let's keep going.
Gigantic worms haven't managed to scare us, so we're digging further down. About 13
Speak for
feet
yourself.
underground, we come across the tomb of Pharaoh
King Tut.
Tutankhamun. It was
Oh,
discovered.
I was right.
Oh, wait,
It is
wait.
King Tut.
Wait, who's the king?
Lucky
What is
guess.
King Tut.
King
King Tutankhamun.
Common? What is it?
Tutankhamun.
Alec was
Was
cool with him,
discovered
so
by
he's
archaeologist
given him the
Howard
nickname
Carter
King Tut.
in 1922. 20 feet is the maximum range of a metal detector. Even so, a high-end detector
What?
will probably spot a car hidden underground at this
No
depth.
way.
But if a detector
Why would
is
there
not
ever
so
be a car
advanced,
that deep?
or if an object is small, it won't work. You can still find
Okay.
the roots of tropical forest plants if you
I'm just kind of imagining like somebody that's using a metal detector. Like imagine detecting something that's 20 feet down. Like
You gotta dig
what-
forever to get there.
Yeah, when would you ever think that like when you think of a metal detector, you're like on the beach and you're picking up like dimes and like bottle openers,
Right.
but not actual cars. Like you think anybody's found a car with that with a metal detector?
No,
I don't know.
No, I would
Well,
give up
That'd
after
be
2
crazy.
feet.
Yeah, what if you found like a Bugatti just buried under the ground? That'd be crazy.
That'd be wild.
You dig 23
Yeah.
feet down. Tropical trees need such long roots to store water during dry periods. William Little of Hackney, aka the Mole Man, lived in London and managed to burrow 26 feet under his own house. He
What does that even
started in the
mean?
60s, and this process took him more than 40 years. The web of caverns
Why?
and tunnels the man dug
What?
spreads more than 65 feet away from the house.
Why?
Almost
That's a
40
real
feet
life
down,
ant.
and you'll see the deepest burrow made by an animal. Surprisingly,
Oh,
this
sandstone.
super deep hole is dug by the Nile crocodiles. When we
What?
Crocodiles dig 40 feet holes?
Well, I didn't know crocodiles dig. Period.
I thought they just sit on the top of the water and sleep forever.
Wait, why do they dig? They live in the water.
Did you think they dig with their mouths? Like they gulp it out? Or do they
probably-
use their
I
hands?
feel like they use their tail, kind of like they
Oh,
do the
they're
torpedo
really?
I'm
spin and then it
imagining
drills
something
in.
like Pac-Man.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
arrive
Adam, I
at a
think
depth
you'd be
of
good at digging
60
holes.
feet, we can see
I'd be good at jumping 'em.
Beijing's underground city. That's a subterranean bomb shelter consisting of a vast network of tunnels and underground rooms. It is situated under the capital of China. At a depth of 66 feet,
Wait, that's
the
China's
Paris
flag?
catacombs are located.
not
They
know
were
that.
discovered in the 18th century. These catacombs contain the remains of more
wow.
than 6
This is
million
true.
people.
This is crazy.
Well, this
I've never
might
been there,
sound
but I
a
want
bit
to.
shocking, but at a depth of 110 feet, there's an underground farm. Yes,
What?
they
How is
use
that
a
possible?
former bomb shelter to grow veggies and herbs in London. The
Why?
deepest swimming pool in the world,
thought you
the
needed sunlight.
Y40 diving pool in Monte Grotto Terme, Italy, goes 131 feet down. If you fell into this pool when there was no water in it, it would take you 3 seconds to reach the bottom. Do you think
That's
that's,
not that
too
long.
long?
I thought he was gonna say a way bigger number.
Yeah, that's not that long at all.
130
Yeah,
feet down?
we would
That
have
is-
fallen down a couple times by now.
There's no way. That's way too fast.
I feel like when I jump off a 30-foot cliff, I'm falling for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That's just an illusion.
Well, I think Alec falls a little faster than I would.
Wouldn't it be funny in the video? They're like a little asterisk, like Alec falls in 2.5. Everybody else falls in 3.
Yeah, we can add that.
Hilarious, bro.
Are not long enough? Tell us in the comments below. In Cappadocia, Turkey, there's an underground complex that probably dates back to the 7th century. Its name is the Derinkayu Underground City, and it's situated almost 280 feet below Earth's surface. At
But how do they dig that? Like, if they were in 700 BC or AD or whatever, how do they dig that?
Shovels.
But like, come on, it's 280 feet. If you, me, and Adam decided we wanted to go dig a hole, we couldn't do that if we just had shovels.
Well, it probably took them hundreds and hundreds of years and like thousands of people.
Doesn't over time stuff stack up on top of each other? So
Oh, you think that they made it like a really
I feel
long
like
time ago?
really
and then-
it was 100
Yeah.
feet underground, but now it's on 280 feet because time.
I think it takes a lot more time for
that
that,
might
to happen.
be
now.
the smartest thing Adam's ever said.
I don't think so.
At
it takes a lot more time
328
for that.
feet, you'll find yourself at the depth in which radioactive waste is stored. And just
Oh.
a bit deeper, at 346
My man is
feet,
going
you'll
crazy
be
with
able
that
to
drill.
see where the deepest metro
I was gonna
station in the
mention that
world
earlier.
is situated. That's
There's a
the
metro
Arsenal
station?
metro station in Kiev.
What?
The Channel Tunnel, connecting the UK with France, is
Oh, wow.
situated at a depth of 377 feet.
They
A
definitely
wild
have
fig
secret
tree
meetings
that
down there.
grows at the Echo Caves near Origstad.
Wait, did you hear that? I did not know. They said England connects to France through
Yeah,
that tunnel.
through the tunnel. They have secret
Wow.
meetings, and they
That
probably
is
touch
crazy.
each other.
There's like a
That's
whole
insane, dude.
miles and miles of ocean between them.
Oh wait,
They got secret tunnels down there.
yeah.
You are actually so dumb.
Wait, but
Oh
how
my
is
God.
there a tree down there at 400 feet? I
Yeah.
thought trees grow at 0 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that. Adam, seriously. Oh man.
Has the deepest roots known
Seriously.
to people. They go down 400 feet. But there's a hotel room that's situated even deeper than that. You can find
Oh.
the deepest hotel room in the world 508 feet
Oh,
underground.
I'm writing that down,
Write
boys.
that down,
I'm
write
writing
that
that down. Hold on.
30,000 likes and we'll go there.
Well,
30,000.
we have to
Make it
actually go there.
happen. 30,000 likes will be
500
there.
Grand Canyon Cavern Suites.
Book us.
No, wait.
Bro.
Wait, there's one even deeper.
Wait, what? Oh, this video might be a little old.
Get deeper, Jack. Get deeper.
I'm going in.
Go as deep as you can.
Put it all
How
in.
deep? I'm seeing how deep this goes. Hold on. I'm doing the research. I'm crunching the numbers.
Can go deeper,
Crunching the
Jack.
numbers.
Go
Push
deeper.
harder,
World's
Jack.
deepest hotel
Push,
room.
Jack, research it.
Where to find it? It's in Scandinavia. Scandinavia,
Ooh,
boys.
okay, all right,
we gotta go
all
all the way.
right.
Oh, they have an ice hotel in Sweden, guys. Ice hotel in Sweden.
Okay, this has nothing to do with the underground.
Hold on. I'm getting a little bit sidetracked here. Oh my gosh, you could stay with President Biden?
Alice Silver Mine in Sweden. Sounds crazy, right? But what will you say about the deepest half marathon at a depth of 695 feet?
No way.
It took place in 2004 at the Bochnia Salt
That's
Mine in
another
Poland.
video idea.
The deepest railway tunnel is located at a depth of 787
Guys,
feet.
we gotta get deep.
That's the maximum depth of the Seiken Tunnel in Japan that opened in 1988.
I didn't realize, like, we're living on the surface level. We're not even getting deep, boys. There's a whole life under our feet.
What's the deepest you've ever been?
At least, yeah. I was about to say at least 8
I don't even know.
to 2 inches.
I literally don't even know how deep I've been. I mean, I've talked about the meaning of life before, but like that's the deepest I've ever gone.
What I'm worried about is how we're only at 700 feet, and I estimated that this is gonna get down to 269,000 feet. This dude's gonna have to start digging. Come on,
He
push
needs
your
to
back
upgrade
into
that
it,
little
boy.
drill.
Come on. Yeah, seriously.
He's gonna need like a laser gun.
And the deepest road tunnel on Earth is the Eiksund Tunnel in Norway. It goes under the sea and reaches 942 feet below Earth's surface.
That's terrifying.
Even if we could get down to 1,001 feet, we'd still be in the danger zone for the B-82 Earth-penetrating nuclear warhead.
Wow, that
its
penetrates
maximum
real deep.
destructive depth. At a depth of 1,200
Imagine you're just like chilling somewhere, just like 1,000 feet, and then you die from that. That would be so disappointing.
You just get penetrated by the penetrator.
Dude.
And
Imagine
you die.
getting penetrated, and you're like literally 1 foot away from not getting penetrated.
Jack's
we'll
type of
see
gamer.
the deepest hand-dug water well. Woodingdean Water Well is located near Brighton,
Hand-dug?
UK. Of 20 feet. We'll see the deepest hand-dug water well. Woodingdean Water Well is located near Brighton, UK.
Oh, never mind.
It was created in
Woodingdean?
1862 and is also likely to be the deepest hole in the world ever dug without the use of any technology.
Hey, look
That
at
is
go with that
insane
big axe.
number. They were that thirsty that they dug 1,200 feet.
That's
Wait, now
how
he's
far
digging. Look at
down
him go
the
now.
deepest natural
Yep.
shaft in the world goes.
Oh,
It's
bro, 2,000-foot shaft.
the
Let's go.
Verdoglavosa cave in Slovenia.
That dude is
If you were
parachuting in it.
unlucky enough to fall down this shaft, your fall would last 11
Alex would be
seconds
10.5.
before you reach the
11-second
bottom.
fall
However,
in the shaft.
even deeper than that, at 2,297 feet, 33
getting
Chilean
deep.
miners were trapped for 69
Oh, I
days.
remember this.
It
All right.
happened in the San Jose
This guy
copper
is
and gold mine in
literally
Chile.
meaning.
I'm
in
not laughing at this,
2010.
guys, I swear.
All of the miners were rescued.
Guys, the
At
miners
a depth
were
of
rescued at
3,800
69,000 feet.
There's the deepest bat colony in the world.
Gross.
About 1,000 brown bats spend every winter in a zinc mine in New York. The deepest concert in history took place at a depth
People
of
went down there?
4,166
Whoa.
feet in a mine in Finland in 2007.
No way.
The performer was a band called Agonizer.
That's awesome.
Oh my
Then
god.
there's Home
that was
State
probably
Gold
so
Mine in the
cool.
USA. Its depth is 4,855 feet. In 1965, this mine hosted a successful experiment. Scientists detected and counted neutrinos, subatomic particles from the sun. The deepest coal mine
they
is
get
the
down there?
Jindřich II mine, which is located in the Czech Republic.
The
it has a
Jindřich II
depth
mine.
of 4,920 feet and
Might
closed
as well
in
just call it as the Alec
1991.
mine.
About 5,920 feet down, and we arrive at the deepest part of the 227-mile-long Grand Canyon. Its average depth is 5,282 feet.
Have you guys ever been to the Grand Canyon?
No, but I want to go.
No.
It seems cool.
Wow, we're a bunch of losers.
Yeah, it's
We should
pretty
go.
cool, I guess.
We should try and survive
Yeah.
Far.
8 days with no water.
I'll do 7.
You in,
You
Alex?
guys got that one. Nah, you guys got that one.
We'll flip a coin. Loser goes. I won't rig it.
Yeah.
The deepest cave known to humankind is Krubera Cave in the Arabica Massif in Georgia.
Okay.
The cave goes down 7,185 feet. At
I would not wanna get trapped down there.
7,677 feet below the Earth's surface, the deepest radio broadcast took place. It was held by
Why,
CBC and happened in Creighton
what's the
Mine,
point?
Ontario, Canada
To
in
set the record.
2005. The deepest laboratory in the world is the Jinping Underground Laboratory.
They're doing some shady stuff down there. That's all I'm going to say.
They're getting deep and dark down there.
I'm going to predict that dinosaurs exist. And it's
And they're down there.
20,000 feet down.
That is exactly the number that's on screen.
What do you think they're doing down there, Alec?
What do you think that woman's doing down there with that
What kind of
laboratory?
experiments. Okay, Alec, let me ask you this then. If you were a scientist, it's just you and this girl, 8,000, 2,000 feet.
And potentially a velociraptor.
And then you, a dinosaur, and the woman. Would you save the woman's life and kill the dinosaur?
Or would you save the dinosaur?
Let's say the dinosaur.
Okay, good. He's got his priorities straight.
in China, and it is situated
You leave Monday, Alec.
8,202 feet underground. Let's dig a bit deeper. Voila! 10,203 feet down, and we see the deepest single shaft elevator in the world. It's
Their ears have
located
to
in
be
the
popping.
Moab Kotsong gold mine in South Africa. If you decide to take the elevator
How long?
down,
One big
it will
shaft.
take you 4.5 minutes.
Four and a half
That's a big shaft.
minutes.
Or shortcut
Elevator?
and jump into the
Dude,
shaft.
if someone
You'll
farts,
reach
we're
the bottom
done.
in
Everybody's going to get knocked out by the time it gets to the bottom.
We're almost at my estimate, guys. We only need 259,000 more feet to go.
Imagine if somebody farts in that elevator when you're going down.
I just
that
said
would
that.
stink. That would stink.
I just said that.
Jack, that was good.
That would be bad. That'd be
Oh,
stinky.
good one, Jack. That was sick.
deepest known multicellular organism dwells at a depth of 11,811 feet. That's a worm found
This
in the
dude's gotta
Tautona
dig
mine in
faster.
South
Come
Africa.
on.
Now let's go deeper down
Go
the
deep.
Tautona
Yes,
mine.
deeper,
in fact,
deeper,
it's the deepest
deeper.
human destination in the world.
Dig, dig,
a
dig,
trip
dig,
down to the
dig.
bottom takes more than an hour. The temperature there will definitely make you sweat. It reaches a whopping 151 degrees Fahrenheit.
How'd it get so hot? Wait, I thought it's cold underground. Every time I walk into a basement, it gets cold.
I also thought it took 4 minutes to take the elevator down. Why does it now take an hour?
Because they're not taking an elevator.
Yeah, they're
What are they
digging.
taking?
They're digging.
They're walking upstairs.
So if they know the temperature down there, then a person has been down there.
Yeah.
Look, he's right there, of course.
He's all jacked up. Look at him. 151
he's real?
degrees isn't even that hot. I go in a sauna and it's 160 plus. So
Oh, Adam could survive.
I could survive for at least 10 to 15 minutes.
Average depth of the oceanic crust is almost 20,000 feet.
Oh, there
this
we go.
is
Now we're
also the
digging.
depth of the
20K.
deepest known microbes. They were found in rocks below China's Songlao Basin. At a depth of about 36,000 feet, there's
Here
the
we go,
deepest
here we
point
go.
of the ocean, Mariana Trench. But people have managed to get even deeper than that. Until this year, the absolute
No way.
champion
Oil,
of
it's
the
gotta
depths
be.
was the Kola Super Deep Borehole. This is the second deepest artificial hole on the planet, and it's situated
Wow,
in
that's
Russia.
a deep
the
hole.
depth
I
of
do
this
like
wondrous
artificial
human
holes.
creation is 40,355 feet. That was a project of the Soviet Union. They tried to drill through
course.
Earth's crust. However,
What?
they only made it 1/3 of the way. After that, the temperature
Oh.
reached
Oh, okay.
356 degrees
What?
Fahrenheit, and the drill
Guys, we were nowhere close. 40,000 feet is 1/3.
Well, to get to the core.
No, wait, is it?
Yeah.
To get to the core.
To get to the core, no, this is the furthest I think people have gotten, 40,355 feet,
So-
which means I was pretty close.
Were you?
Yeah, I said 42,000. Roll
Well,
the
he's not
clip.
done
Please
yet.
replay it.
This is
Well,
saying
no
how
way. I
far
said
can you
that.
possibly dig? You can still dig farther, I think.
Well, yeah, if you
We just
put
haven't
Adam
yet.
down there with the shovel, he could last for at least a couple minutes,
356 degrees? When does water boil?
like 320.
Dead!
couldn't operate any longer. If you stumble across this hole by accident, you aren't likely to recognize it. Its diameter is just 9 inches, and it looks
Oh,
absolutely
that's huge. What do you mean we wouldn't
nondescript.
notice it?
On the other hand, it probably helps to prevent people accidentally falling down there. If you drop a coin down the shaft, it
Okay.
will fall for 50 seconds
Wow.
before it reaches
But
the bottom.
Alec would probably
and the
reach the
winner
bottom
in
in
the
50.
category of the deepest
49.9.
artificial hole on Earth is Z44, Shavo Oil and
What?
Gas Well. This shaft
Huh?
is drilled down to a whopping 40,604
Oh, I did predict that.
feet.
I said oil.
That's 15 Burj Khalifas put on
Dude,
top of each other.
That is the biggest
shaft
shaft
is
in
located
history.
Wait, why are they stacking up Mia Khalifas?
No, Burj Khalifa.
Oh.
in the Russian Far East. How deep underground would you agree to go?